Welcome, everyone. I've had a lot of questions recently about how I design my 3D items and how the process works. So I'm putting together a three-part tutorial on how that works. Part 1 will be about Fusion 360 and how to use basic sketches with shapes and other items alike. Part 2 will be importing an image and sketching over that image to be ready to 3D print. Part 3 will be about turning that 2D image into a 3D object, ready to print on a 3D printer. We're going to use this with a White Ranger Power Coin. If you have any questions, make sure you leave those in the comments. I'll be able to answer those. Otherwise, by the end of this tutorial, I hope you will understand the basics of Fusion 360 and be able to turn one of these images into a coin for yourself. All right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to head on over to Fusion 360 Autodesk. So make sure that you search for Fusion 360 in your Chrome. Make sure that we go get it downloaded. And they have free trials, free subscriptions, everything like that. Make sure you go through that. You don't have to buy anything. Just do the free trial. It'll give you 7 days. Afterwards, you can sign up for a personal. And the personal is a year free. If you're a student, even better. You get the student year for free. Just type in your credentials, email address, anything like that from your school, and you'll get it for free. Okay, now that we have Fusion 360 downloaded, let's look at what we got. Make sure you open it up, assuming you already signed in, created an account, all that good stuff. So, part 1 is just focusing on the sketches. So right here, you probably would have came in with it looking like 360. We got this cube on the right. You can switch and move anywhere you want. But again, we're just focusing on the 2D sketch right now. So click the top. You need to rotate it whichever way you want. It doesn't really matter. But click top. Try to keep it relatively the same. And come over here to our side, design side. We're going to create sketch. And this brings up the X, Y, and Z panels. But again, we're just going to be on top, so that's all that matters. We're going to click that button, and that gives us our plane where we're sketching on. So then up here shows all the sketch features we have. Anything we can create, modify, and constraints. So I'm going to teach you everything that we need to know for our design today. We're just going to start with a line. While we're here, Fusion 360 does a really good snap grid feature. You can turn it on or off, however you want. But it'll snap on each one of these points on your grid line. So I just leave it on for the most part anyways. As we go. So we're going to start with just a line. Now, a lot of these have some hotkeys to them too, and some of them don't. Like line, you can click L, and you can click L, and it'll automatically get the line function, and it works exactly like a line would. You can have these constraints in there. Say if you want a 50 millimeter line, and you want it to be 45 degrees. Boom. That gives you 50 by 45. Now, if you want that line changed, maybe you want it at 75. Boom. Maybe you wanted it 30 degrees. Works out that way. So when you're making these constraints, you can always adjust them. Same goes with the box. Click here. I'm going to make a box. Maybe I want it 50 by 100. Boom. Box. Same with circle. Going to snap to point. Going to make kind of a circle. I'm going to make it that randomly big. Why not? If you ever need to inspect on how long one is, hit that inspect button. Come over here, select. Select the line. I'm not sure why it's not measuring. Never mind. Delete whatever that was. So those are the basic shapes. We can also use our splines, which we're going to use splines later. And this gives you a nice curve. So when you're using more wild objects or different objects that just need some extra pizzazz to them, splines, they're going to be your friend. Super big friend. Come back in here, reselect, and shape it. And shape any one of these that you need to. Shape the length of the curve, width of the curve, everything. Again, those basic shapes are good. Now say we have an object that has a face. Think like a face. And we want that same face on on two things. Like, let's take this triangle, for example. I want this triangle exactly the same on the other side. Now I can measure it and adjust, or use a nice little mirror feature. I'm going to select the mirror line first, which I want there. I'm going to select the objects, which I want there and there. I'm going to hit OK. And that mirrored those exact lines how we had it. Perfect. Say when we did a square, I want the edges rounded. Grab that little fill button up here in the modify, select both edges, and figure out how much of the corner you want. You want to type it in, you want 10 millimeters? Perfect. If you want each edge to do it, we're going to select them all. So we're going to select one, boom, next set, and last set. I want them all to be 10. We now have rounded corners and rounded fillets. Perfect. Say we need to trim stuff up. You drew all your objects, and we obviously don't need these extra lines, these longer lines, because we had the diamond the way we want to. Hit T, and little red marks will show you what you can trim. So what I recommend is just coming in here and playing around. The easy thing you can do is just come in here, just straight sketch panel, and you're just going to sketch anything. Whatever object size you want, whatever curves you want. You want to come in here and get an arc between these 2 points. Match it. Take line. Draw between 2 points. Hit T. Trim that line out. And boom. Almost looks like they're overlaying. So it's pretty much whatever your imagination wants to go. But just get used to all this. The mirror functions, all that. There's a lot more to it than just that basic, but for now, we just need lines, splines, circles, offsetting for the O, again, O, go, mirror function, and line. And those are your basic sketches. So now that we have that under our belt, again, play with that as much as you want. Save it if you want to, delete it, no big deal. And we're going to go to part 2 once you're done playing, and we'll see if we can't use what we just learned and looked at to build the coin.